5 cryptos that could 10x before end of 2026. Yo, okay, so like, everyone and their mom is talking about Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin's at 70 grand. Ethereum's at like 3,500. And like, yeah, if you bought Bitcoin last year, you made money, right? You're up maybe 250%. That's solid. But here's the thing that nobody really talks about. The people who are actually making the real money in crypto, they're not buying Bitcoin at 70K. They're not trying to catch Ethereum at 3,500. They're doing something way different. They're quietly like just stacking these altcoins that literally nobody knows about. And the reason nobody knows about them? Because they're too small, man. They're not on the news. You're not seeing them on Twitter every day. They're under the radar. But the people who actually work in crypto, the insiders, they know what's up. And that's what I'm going to break down for you right now. So like, here's the reality, right? Last year, someone put $1,000 into Bitcoin, made like 3,000, maybe a little more. That's a 3x, which is great, honestly. Most people would be happy with that. But someone who got lucky and threw that same $1,000 into the right altcoin when it was still super small, they could have 10x'd, 15x'd. Like, that 1,000 could be 10 or 15,000 right now. And the difference between those two outcomes is just like it's timing and knowledge. You got to know which ones. You got to get in before everyone else figures it out. So that's what we're going to talk about. 5 projects that, like, they've got the fundamentals, they've got the momentum, and honestly, I think they could realistically hit 10x before the end of next year or something. Before I get into the 5 though, I got to explain why most people miss this stuff, you know? When you look at the top like 10 or 15 cryptos, those are they're done growing basically. Bitcoin's been around forever. Ethereum's been around for 10 years. They've already had their crazy growth phase. Sure, they'll probably keep going up, but like 10x from where they are now? That's not happening. It's just math, right? But altcoins, like smaller projects that nobody's heard of yet, that's where the actual upside is. That's where you see 10x potential. The problem is like, they're harder to find. And they're riskier because you don't know if they're actually going to work, you know? And by the time everyone feels safe about them, like, the big moves are already over. But right now, like mid-2026, there's some projects that I think are in that perfect spot. They're established enough that they actually work. They have real technology, real people using them. But they're still small enough that like, 10x is actually possible. Alright, so the first one, Polygon. Now Polygon isn't like some brand new thing. It's been around since like 2017. But what's happening with it right now that like most people don't see? They're becoming the scaling solution for like big corporate blockchain stuff. So right now the price is like 80 cents, 90 cents. Market cap is like, I don't know, 3 billion or something. Don't quote me exact numbers, right? But it's in that ballpark. But here's why I think this could hit 10x. First of all, like major corporations are just starting to build on this thing. Because it's cheap, it's fast, and it's secure. That's 3 things you want in a blockchain. Second, Ethereum is just getting so congested and expensive. Polygon fixes that problem, right? And third, like all the gaming stuff, all the NFT stuff, it's built on Polygon. Once that industry bounces back, Polygon is going to be the thing everyone's using. Realistic timeline? Probably 2 to 3 years. So like, if you're looking for quick money, this isn't it. But if you can hold for a couple years, I think this has legs. Entry point? Like 75 cents to 90 cents is pretty reasonable right now. Number 2 is Chainlink. And like, I know Chainlink's been around for a minute, but bear with me. So Chainlink, basically it's like, okay, imagine a smart contract needs to know the price of Bitcoin. Like, how does it know? It can't just look at the internet. Chainlink is the thing that connects it. It's like the middleman that brings real-world data into the blockchain world. And it does it securely, which is important. Right now it's trading at like $24, $25. Market cap is probably around 9 billion, something like that. Why could this 10x? Like first, smart contracts are getting way more complicated. They need more data, more real-world stuff connected. Chainlink is like the dominant player in that space. Nobody else is even close. Second, like traditional banks and finance companies are starting to mess with blockchain. When they do, they need Chainlink. And third, institutions are starting to realize that like Chainlink is essential infrastructure. It's not going anywhere. Timeline on this one? I'd say 3 to 4 years probably. Could be faster if adoption goes crazy. Could be slower if regulations mess things up. But that's my guess. Entry? $24 to $26 is like a reasonable buy range right now. Okay, number 3. Arbitrum. So Arbitrum, it's a layer 2 solution. I know that sounds technical, but it's actually pretty simple. Instead of transactions happening on the main Ethereum network, they happen on Arbitrum, which is like faster and cheaper. And then they settle back on Ethereum. It's like a side road that feeds back into the main highway. Right now it's at like $1.20. Market cap around 4 billion. Here's the thing though, layer 2 solutions are just becoming the future of Ethereum. Like, that's where everything's moving. There's already billions locked into Arbitrum, but that's tiny compared to how much could actually be there in a few years. As more people build apps on it and more people use it, the value should go up. Plus, Arbitrum is like, the community is still really into it. Developers are building on it every day. It's not saturated yet, you know? There's still room to grow. Timeline, 2 to 3 years. Entry, $1 to $1.30 is like the range I'd be looking at. Alright, number 4, Uniswap. So Uniswap is a decentralized exchange. It's like Coinbase, but you don't have to go through a company. You just trade peer-to-peer. And it's like the biggest one in the world. The most volume goes through Uniswap. Price is around $12 right now. Market cap is like $4.5 billion. Why is there upside here? Well, like, more and more people are leaving centralized exchanges because they don't trust them. They want to trade on their own. Uniswap is the place they go. So trading volume keeps going up. Second, their business model is actually getting profitable now. They're making real money. Third, they're giving token holders a say in how the protocol develops. That's cool and it attracts more people. Fourth, there's still tons of room to grow internationally. Most of the world barely uses crypto. Only risk I'll mention is like, regulators could try to shut them down. That's something to watch. Timeline? 2 to 3 years. Entry, $11 to $13. And the last one, Optimism. Optimism is kind of like Arbitrum, but it's newer. It's the younger version. Price is like $2.50, $2.60. Market cap is around 2 billion, so it's smaller. Why is that interesting? Because it's smaller, right? Which means if layer 2 stuff explodes, Optimism has more room to grow percentage-wise. Like, if both of them hit the same adoption, Optimism goes up more because it started smaller. Second, the ecosystem is just growing like crazy, new apps every month. Third, it's got serious people backing it. Only thing is, Arbitrum is more established, so that's less risky. But if you're looking for more potential upside, Optimism is the play. Timeline, 2 to 3 years. Entry, $2 to $2.60. Alright, so like, you know about these 5 projects. How do you actually invest in them? First thing, don't go all in on one. That's stupid. Diversify, dude. If you've got $1,000, split it like this. $250 in Polygon, $250 in Chainlink, $200 in Arbitrum, $150 in Uniswap, $150 in Optimism. Second thing, don't throw all the money in today, like dollar cost average. So buy $50 a week for 5 weeks instead of $250 today. Why? Because you don't know where the bottom is. Spreading it out reduces your risk. Third thing, these are long-term holds. I'm talking 2-3 years minimum. Don't expect to make money in 3 months. Fourth thing, have an exit plan. When something is up 3x, take some profit. When it's up 5x, take more. When it hits 10x, take the rest. Don't get greedy and hold forever. Okay, look, I gotta be real with you about the risks. Crypto is risky, full stop. These projects could all go to zero. It's happened before, it could happen again. So like, only put in money you can actually afford to lose. Don't take out your emergency fund or whatever. Second, I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice. I'm literally just some dude talking about stuff I think is interesting. Do your own research. Read white papers. Understand what you're actually buying. Third, regulatory risk is real. The government could crack down and prices would tank. Fourth, technical risk. Security breaches happen. Code breaks. It's possible. Fifth, there's new competition every day. One of these could get beaten by something better. So like, be smart about it. Don't go crazy. Have a balanced portfolio. Crypto is like speculative. Treat it that way. Why did I make this channel? Because traditional financial media is not going to tell you this stuff because it doesn't get clicks. People want stock market crash or whatever. Nobody wants to hear about altcoins, right? But honestly, the best opportunities are the boring ones. They're hiding in plain sight. So if you actually want to stay ahead of this, like, before these projects blow up, you gotta subscribe. Turn on notifications, because I'm gonna be breaking down the stuff that traditional media ignores. The people making real money, they're not chasing trends. They saw the opportunity before it was obvious. So yeah, subscribe, turn on notifications. Let's figure this out before everyone else does.